Before this video starts, I am one of those YouTubers who makes plushies. So, if you like this man, you are really gonna like this man. This is my 4th ever plushie project for LPS Extraordinary Magic, my series. You can get your very own Vincent plushie right now on hellostudioscustoms.com if you guys are interested. This is such a cool project. I think my next video is going to be dedicated completely to the process of me creating these plushies. So if this looks cute to you, go check it out. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, my name is Schmeagle. Welcome back to Schmeagle's YouTube channel.
Look!
It is a beautiful day outside. The spring has reached the Carolinas, and I thought, what a good opportunity to ruin it. We are continuing on with the series Ugly to Cute, where I attempt to fix the 3rd generation of Littlest Pet Shop with my 6 customizing skills. And oh, the specimen that we have today is kind of unique. I'm excited, actually. Do you want to meet him? He's ready to meet you. This thing is terrifying. I'm sorry, I just looked in the viewfinder. Okay, please welcome to the stage Lil Antonio Armadillo to... What was... I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Anthony Armadillo Antonio. We call him Lil Tony for short. Lil Tony. Come on, Lil Tony. I kind of hate to call it ugly, to be honest. There are some figures on this series that are genuinely ugly. I am looking at you, Krabatha. Lil Tony's not ugly. I can't do Lil Tony like that. He didn't do anything to me. You know what, Lil Tony? Lil Tony, I'm a simp for you. Have a flower. I'm sure if you clicked on this video, you could be an armadillo enthusiast, so you can feel free to share some fun armadillo facts in the comments section, but for a brief overview, they are mammals native to the Americas. They have a shell made out of hardened skin. Hardened skin? Maybe like keratin, like your fingernail maybe? Are skilled diggers. Primarily eat insects, and some species can roll into a ball for protection. Yeah, their armor-like shell is made of, it says, made of hardened skin similar to our fingernails. Imagine if we had a fingernail imagine if you had a fingernail the size of your back for defense. Imagine if you went to the salon and got your singular back nail done. How would you decorate it? What interesting little creatures. I'm a big fan of prehistoric animals, dinosaurs, and there are a few animals on our planet that you can kind of just look at them and feel like they dropped right out of the prehistoric age. I think armadillos are one of those animals. Whoa, okay. Apparently armadillos carry leprosy. They are the only known animal besides humans that can host this bacteria. Little microbiology fact. I am actually liking a lot about how this is sculpted. I think it looks very like similar shape to how it is naturally. As opposed to the old generation, it's more like rounded off. I like this bold, sharp look. So like usual, we're gonna try to focus on improving the anatomy first. And the anatomy of an armadillo is something that's quite interesting. So they have that hard keratin shell on the outside. People kind of associate with them, and their ridges kind of condense towards the middle. The tail here is pretty accurate, but I find it kind of small compared to an actual armadillo. It looks like the actual armadillo tail is quite large and extends pretty far, almost to the size of their actual body. Kind of reminds me of a rat or a mouse, but it looks like it's ridged with armor, much like the shell itself. The actual feet of an armadillo appear like they have very large, sharp claws. It almost reminds me of a sloth. A lot of interesting structure to work with. Okay, that seems like a pretty good start. But before we get too far into the customizing video, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Littlest Pet Shop. As usual, I feel incredibly fortunate to be collaborating with this toy brand. Here's a little unboxing of 3 play packs Basic Fun sent me, including the Grooming Spa play pack, the Diner Dash play pack, and the Disco Nights play pack. I think you'll notice all these play packs are a little bit special because they contain main 5 Littlest Pet Shop for Gen 7. which is such exciting news for the LPS community. We've been waiting forever to get main fives back, so it's exciting to see them in stores again. Littlest Pet Shop is feeding the people, and it's just so surreal to be able to hold these pets in my hand. If any of these designs interest you, I encourage you to check out Littlest Pet Shop at your local toy store, Targets, Walmarts, Macy's, littlestpetshop.com, and Amazon. Support this incredible brand that's creating so much exciting stuff coming up as well. I've been fortunate to be able to see some sneak peeks, and I am just so excited for what Littlest Pet Shop is doing and creating and building for the future. As always, thank you so much, Littlest Pet Shop, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. Can you guys hear the rain outside? It's a blustery day. I'm gonna remove her factory paint. These eyeballs are very distracting. Kind of give us an idea of what we're working with. Since I did just use acetone on this figurine, I'm gonna go give it a wash with some soap and water. It's a stormy Abbey. Oh my gosh! Sorry. It's good. It's a stormy Abbey ambiance. Ambiance. Have you figured it out, guys? This is gonna be an axolotl. This might be my best invention yet, but you'll have to wait on that one. With all the rain in the background right now, I truly feel like I'm customizing in a jungle rainforest. This is incredibly intricate. I'm gonna need a little super glue to help me along, just to keep the clay in place. Whoop, it's a lot. So I've been researching armadillos and how they are structured, and then I also researched how people interpret armadillos in sculptures. Seeing how other artists sculpt armadillos is very helpful in kind of deciding how I want to make mine. I really like this palish style. The pink nose! Oh, that's so cute. So I just found this website that looks like a small business based in California. It caught my eye because this armadillo sculpture, they're kind of like garden ornaments. Side note, I love garden ornaments. One day I hope to kind of expand my channel to making sculptures kind of like this, or even like custom posable art dolls. One day, guys, stick with me, we'll make cool stuff. This caught my eye specifically because I just kind of like how they made the scales. One of the ways I could make the scales is with like a textured piece, like a textured instrument. I use this thing a lot for texture because if you press this jaded edge against clay, it can make something that looks kind of similar to scale. But this circle idea is very cute. I like how it's different from just being realistic. It's kind of like an artistic interpretation. And of course, I'm also looking for real references of the animal. I'm gonna start with trying to sculpt little claws on these feet. Probably resculpting most of the feet, to be honest, to just look more like tucked little animal feet with more detail. I had to look it up just to make sure, but armadillos do not have paw pads. Anyway, this sculpting is just so small that it doesn't really matter if it's 100% detailed. I think compared to like the flat feet, anything will be an improvement. I think we got the feet pretty good. It's not too huge of a change. I followed the original sculpt very closely. I think it's so cute. The little feet sticking up are adorable, especially giving it individual digits. I was considering sculpting fur here because armadillos naturally are mammals. They have hair that grows, kind of follows their chest, but I think if I do decide to add hair, I think I will do it with faux fur. We're gonna move on to the tail. So I'm gonna start with adding an armature here and kind of creating a fun little twisty, cute shape. If I position this right, it actually might even help it balance. I'm extending its shell to cover the back of its head because I just think it kind of looks weird how abrupt it ends right here. Gonna bulk up the bottom of the shell if I can as well. I kind of like how the creases are made, and I don't think I mean, I could sculpt it, but I kind of like how seamless it looks on the plastic. I think it'll still look good if I leave that there, but I'll texturize everything else. I'm really hoping the rain in the background of this is not like unpleasant white noise. I'm hoping it's cozy and crafty, but it's kind of hard to tell until I watch the footage back. To recreate the shell and stuff, I just pretty much sculpted on huge platelets and mashed them together, a lot like 𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 actually. 𝓬𝓬𝓷𝓴𝓼. I'll never escape her. And then I came back with some detail of just like circular scales. I didn't cover them as uniform as that sculpture I showed in the beginning. I kind of just freckled them on, if that makes sense. And since I added so many little pieces all over the custom itself, I made sure to reinforce it with super glue and then Mod Podge right after. So now our little armadillo is all sealed and ready to be painted. It is all, the top heavy portion was solved. It can stand pretty good, but I guess it can roll back too. It's not foolproof. I like what we've got here, but it is a little bit hard to tell how it's going to look until it is painted. So I think we're best just starting off with a darker color for the base. Plus a simple flat coat is going to be very satisfying to paint after all that sculpting work. Is this the right color? Okay. I didn't want to ruin the satisfying moment with the wrong shade of brownish cream. Get that fluorescent pink out of here. That was the first coat. Looks pretty good. I think I've decided I want to airbrush this armadillo. I think I've shown it before, but I recently purchased a huge set of airbrush coloring, so I have a lot to work with. I think about them like kind of as desert animals. So they're out in the sun all day, and it kind of makes me think everywhere the sun touches kind of feels like it affects the coloration of their shell, which is very helpful for airbrushing because you can kind of just mimic what light would do in the way you spray. As always, I shall put down a big towel to avoid destroying my already destroyed desk. It also just looks more artistic. I just have some various ashy, earthy desert colors I just kind of want to mix together to create different shades of tan. My basic goal is just to accentuate all this texture that we've just sculpted and just make it look natural. I also want to keep in mind like the pinkish nose. I think that's such a cute idea. And we're just going to mix directly in the container here. Start on the back because that's less scary. Little pink snoot. It's really hard to tell, but it's very subtle pink snoot. So I went over the entire figurine with airbrush paint. This was definitely a good call. It made it so much easier. I just kind of wanted different tones of tan, and that can be kind of hard to do with just straight acrylic paint because shifting between the tones will usually look pretty abrupt. I did have a little bit of extra airbrush paint in the actual airbrush cup, so I did hand paint that onto the shell area after the lighter colors was dry. It needed more precision I couldn't really do with the airbrush itself. Oh my gosh, a hair. What? Get out of there. And here he is after everything has had a bit of a chance to dry. Doesn't he look so cute with my little orange afternoon orange drink? Mystery orange drink. It's oranges, carrots, celery, ginger, green apple, and what else? One more thing, I forgot. Maybe that was all. Okay. Oh, he's so cute. So I think now we have a basic coloring on him. I want to work on the eyes, which is a little bit unusual. I tend to paint the entire thing and then do the eyes last. But in this case, I just kind of want to see the eyes so I can complete the rest of it after that. And I actually went ahead and sketched out my idea for the eyes this time. It's not too crazy different from what I usually do. I keep it pretty simple, pretty monotone colors, trying to keep in mind what the natural animal looks like. I wanted to sketch it out this time because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to follow the line of the actual mold. like where it indents in the plastic. And I also just wanted to pre-plan the eye shines, which I added little tiny details to. I think having an image to work off of this time will make this a lot easier, so I'm just going to paint the best I can. I have this, like the iPad screen is right next to me, it's right here. Like many animals, armadillos look kind of like they just have black eyes. So if you look at an actual photo and you zoom really close in, the eye itself is very plain, which is why it was a lot easier to paint off of a pre-existing drawing I did. Because I feel like if I just winged it, it would look kind of weird the first try. I feel like it just looked like a big black void. LPS eyes have a very specific style to them, and I think even my specific LPS eyes that I like to paint have their own personal touch. When you see one of my customs, usually someone can recognize that it was painted by me, especially considering like the eye style I paint is pretty consistent. But as I was painting this one, I kind of realized like I feel like I want to keep expanding my eye styles. It was really fun to do like more detailed stuff in this eye, so I think I'll like start to consider that more in my future customs, just kind of breaking the mold a little bit. I've already talked about this before, but my style can stay very consistent, and that can be good, but it can also be in my comfort zone, and I do want to challenge myself a little bit. In between painting the eye layers, I was also polishing up the body paint as well. So going back over the tail, back over the ears, especially bringing back more of the pink color. And believe it or not, with the final finishing touches on the eyes, I completed the custom. So I woke up bright and early this morning. Maybe a little too early, I'm tired. I glossed our armadillo, and now we get to see this G4 base completely reimagined. You ready to see? Okay. Ta-da! Oh, this base was such a pleasure to paint. I was really looking forward to painting. I don't know if you could tell, but I was really looking forward to painting this specific mold. I really wanted to see what it looked like all finished, and it didn't disappoint. I think the eyes look so sweet and so friendly. If only he were more articulated. He can move his neck a little bit, but oh, without breaking his little neck crack there. Making these customs not only is fun to make the base itself better, but also, of course, to learn about the animal, and also, I just kind of love to see my personal collection of LPS customs and my custom feed over on Instagram be so diverse with all the animals. To look up on Google like LPS Bumblebee custom or LPS Crab custom, which is something I look up before, and there's just not a lot of customs with the bases, to be honest. So now when I look it up, there's like mine shows up, and that just kind of makes me happy, and I don't know, to represent all these animals that deserve their spot in the spot to roll around on the ground, spot in the spotlight. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, following along my art journey. Don't forget to check out Vincent Plushies, link in description. It's also should be just displayed on my YouTube channel storefront. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Oh, it was such a good time. Oh, now it's time to say goodbye. Tony's like, get me out of here. Get me out of this woman's house. You know, maybe he might be for sale, actually. So, yeah. You might get your wish. Okay, guys, bye.